The alarm clock reads 5:47 a.m. Not 6, not 7, 5:47. It's a specific, deliberate time. The eyes open. There is no reflexive reach for a phone, no morning scroll, just awake. You don't have a morning routine, you have a morning standard. And the difference between those two words is about 40 years of compounding interest on your habits. This isn't about being rich. Rich is just a number in an account, a figure that can rise and fall with the market. This is about something older than rich, something quieter, something that doesn't feel the need to post its net worth online because its worth was never in question to begin with. This is POV old money life. And the first thing you need to understand is that old money doesn't wake up to an alarm, it wakes up to a standard. Let's walk through a day. The bedroom is large but understated. There are no gold fixtures, no floor-to-ceiling marble trying to shout its expense. There is quality wood, linen sheets that breathe, and a window that looks out onto actual trees. It doesn't look like a five-star hotel, it looks like a home. And that's a critical distinction. Hotels are designed to impress strangers for a night. A home is designed to restore the person who lives in it for a lifetime. Old money figured that out somewhere around the third generation. From the window, the view isn't a sparkling city skyline, it's land. Because old money understood something new money is still learning. Skylines are rented, land is owned. Downstairs, the kitchen isn't a stage. There's no private chef plating an Instagram-worthy avocado toast. It's simply a good kitchen, used daily. Breakfast is not a performance, it's fuel. The coffee is excellent, not because the machine cost $4,000, but because the beans are excellent. And the news is read from a physical newspaper. This isn't a nostalgic quirk, it's a strategic decision. Old money learned a long time ago that the people who read the news on their phones are the very people the news is written to manipulate through clicks, outrage, and notifications. And the phone? It's not at the table. Not because of some rigid rule, but because of a deeply held value. Attention is the most valuable asset you own, and old money doesn't give it away for free. By 8:15, it's time to get dressed. The closet is not enormous, it's precise. It's a curated collection of navy, gray, white, and camel. There are no fast fashion pieces destined for a landfill in 6 months. There are no trend-driven items that will look dated in 3 years, because nothing was purchased to be trendy in the first place. A jacket is selected. It was tailored. Not because tailoring is a status symbol, although it can be expensive, but because a tailored jacket fits perfectly, endures, and lasts 20 years. And a 20-year jacket, when you do the math, costs less per wear than a $200 jacket you wear 12 times before it loses its shape or its appeal. Old money does this math automatically. New money buys the $200 jacket 12 times over and wonders where the money went. The shoes are not new, they are maintained. Dark leather, well polished, resoled when needed, because old money understands that maintenance is always cheaper than replacement. This applies to shoes, to cars, to relationships, and to health. And look closely, there are no logos, not a single one. It's not because old money can't afford brands that scream their name. It's because old money doesn't need strangers to know what it can afford. That's new money's job. New money wears the logo so you know. Old money wears the quality so you feel it, if you know what you're looking at. Most people don't, and old money is perfectly fine with that. At 9:30, the workday begins, but it's not in a high-rise office building. It's in a study surrounded by books. There's a simple desk, a phone, a legal pad, and a pen that cost $200 but has been used for 15 years. And let's be very clear about something. Old money works. The myth that it's all leisure and inheritance is a story told by people who have never met old money. They just work differently. Phone calls are calm, measured, and never urgent, because urgency is a symptom of poor planning. Old money plans in decades,
Not quarters, not years, decades. Notes are taken on paper, not because they are technophobes, but because paper doesn't get hacked. Paper doesn't send notifications that shatter your focus, and paper forces you to think before you write. That habit, thinking before you write, has compounded into something incredibly significant over a lifetime. A meeting might have 3 people, never 12, because old money learned that the quality of a decision is inversely proportional to the number of people in the room. The conversation is direct. No one is performing or managing optics. The only question on the table is a simple one. Is this good for the next generation? Not the next quarter, the next generation. A call comes in. The number is recognized. The call is declined, and the phone is placed face down. Not because the caller is unimportant, but because the work happening right now is more important. Old money protects its attention the way new money protects its cash, except attention compounds better. By 11 a.m., it's time to walk around the property. It's not a mansion in the modern sense, it's a well-maintained estate with trees that were planted by someone who is no longer alive. Think about that for a moment. Someone planted a sapling they knew they would never sit under in the shade. That is the entire old money philosophy in a single image. They know every corner of this property, not to show it off, but because they are responsible for it. Old money doesn't own assets. Old money stewards assets. There is a world of difference in that distinction. Ownership is about having. Stewardship is about maintaining, improving, and passing forward. The car in the driveway is 10 years old, a well-maintained sedan, not a Ferrari. It's immaculate, not because they can't afford a new car, but because old money doesn't buy new cars. A new car loses 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. Old money read that sentence in a magazine in 1987 and never forgot it. The investment portfolio is not on a flashing screen, it's in a physical folder. The statements are on paper, and the contents are frankly boring. Index funds, municipal bonds, real estate. Nothing exciting, nothing you need to check every day, nothing that keeps you up at night. Because old money figured out a long, long time ago that the investments that keep you up at night are the investments that eventually take everything. Lunch at 12:30 is not an event, it is a meal. It might be at home or at a private club that has looked the same for 50 years. No one is taking photos of the food. The conversation, perhaps with an old friend, is about ideas, not about people. Old money gossips far less than you'd expect, not from a place of moral superiority, but from a place of strategic disinterest. Gossip is just low-value information about people who aren't in the room. Old money is interested in ideas that will outlast everyone in the room. When the bill arrives, it's paid without being scrutinized, not because money is no object, but because the relationship with money is settled. It's not a source of anxiety or performance. The tip is excellent, and nobody sees it. That's the point. Generosity is practiced quietly, not performed publicly. The journey back is on foot, not for exercise, but for presence, for noticing things. Old money is present in a way that new money rarely is, because new money is always calculating the next move, the next opportunity, the next threat. Old money already made the moves decades ago. Now it's just living inside them. The afternoon, therefore, has space in it, not because of laziness, but because of deliberation. There is time for reading a physical book, its margins filled with notes in different inks from different years. The same book read 3 times over 30 years reveals something new each time because the reader has changed. Old money reads to change. New money reads to perform having read. At 6:30, dinner is with family. Not always, but often, because the generations before learned a hard lesson. The most expensive thing you can possibly lose is not money. The children are at the table, and they are learning without being taught. They are observing how adults talk about money, quietly, specifically, and without drama. They are watching how adults treat service staff with genuine respect, not a performance of it. They see how disagreement is handled, directly, briefly, and then it's over. These are the lessons that build character, the lessons that no school can teach. These are the lessons that truly compound. After dinner, a journal is opened in the study. It's not a diary of feelings, it is a record. Decisions made today, the reasoning behind them, what was learned. Old money keeps records because it knows that the person who can explain their decisions in writing is the person who made them deliberately. And deliberate decisions compound very differently than reactive ones. So here's what it all comes down to. Here's what old money actually is. It's not a number. It's not a zip code or a family name or a private school. Old money is a relationship with time. New money thinks in months. The middle class thinks in years. Old money thinks in generations.